fed. This is for us. We are learning or relearning.
Tunakubucho.
Ukubucho. I tell you. Oh, goodness me. So we shall not steal. We have agreed we are not stealing from our, customers as we sell. That is number 8, Coach Frank, right?
Yes.
Number 9.
We are going to number 9.
Tuambie. Ama tuendelee na 8 kwanza. 8 si tulikuwa tumemaliza.
Ilisha. Kama mtu yuko na swali, aulize turudie.
Okay.
Number 9, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Remember, we're trying to say, let me just explain a bit here. The more you understand what motivates somebody, the more you can sell to them. And the Bible is giving us, and we're extrapolating from it, these are the things that motivate people. People don't want, there's an issue with security. We're saying there's an issue with significance. There's an issue with authenticity. There's an issue. You see, all these things are things that are in the hearts of people as sources of motivation. And those become, therefore, legitimate needs. And we know, now that we're selling, we only sell to you, you're like the woman at the well, with a legitimate need to be loved, to be seen, to be and Jesus sees her, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, let's go to number 9. And that's why we're saying, think about these needs as we've gone through them. And when you're selling, see if you can identify what is the need for this person, so that you can augment your sales pitch based on the need. Yeah. And also you can figure out, actually, I don't have a solution for this person. Step away. That's not your client. Situko shambamba paka.
Tuko sambamba.
So now we are number 9. People have the need, legitimate need, to be understood. To be understood. Okay. If you can give the gift of understanding, and you can never understand if you can never listen. Isn't it? Mm-hmm. Now, or you can never study it out. When Joseph comes to Pharaoh, he listens. Do you know that's one of the biggest things he does? Obviously, it's the king, but he doesn't say, man of God, here, I'm anointed. Shut up. Can I tell you? No. He said his story, repeated it's actually a very long paragraph. Listened, and then purported to provide a solution. Sometimes listening, do you know the doctors we like to visit are doctors who listen to us? It's not that doctor who is chunking out prescriptions. Shut up, next, next. In fact, you find fantastic doctors just listen to you. Alafu ikafanyika nini? Okay, and then what happened? Okay. And tell me about this and what happened. And that it kick in something very beautiful called questioning. Last week we talked about what are the questions you need to ask. This is how you show interest to your client. You're giving them value. And look, if you really understand somebody, guess what? Selling is easy. The problem is trying to sell something they're not looking for or they don't need, while you're trying to stuff them with your product because you're being pushed by your sales numbers that must go through. So you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. No one wants to be blamed for what they don't have.
Right.
Yeah, what they haven't done. Don't finish sentences for your people. This is where I'm weak. I'm a very sharp guy. I've understood you. Now listen. I have to teach myself, Frankie. And by the way, anybody who understands you, you're vulnerable to them. If they're bad, they can hurt you. If in fact, good con people listen to you, they understand, they study you. When do you come in? When do you go out? Unfortunately, now they con you out of it. But why don't we use the right system for the right product? And do your best to understand people, be seen to understand before you start giving voice to your product. Even sometimes how you show you've understood, repeat what you've understood and say, is this what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then you say, yeah, that's exactly, you get me.
Yeah.
That person wants to be understood. Next.
Okay, number 10.
Number 10. Here we go. We're done.
Do not.
You shall not covet.
Right.
Shall not covet.
Yeah.
And the scripture goes into, it gives you almost a list of don't covet your neighbor's horse, which is your car. Don't covet the wife, it's okay, tosheka. Don't covet whatever. As in, don't covet. Covetousness is a twisting of perception.
Okay.
Where I look at you and say, Sharon, hadeserve hii kitu. Ni mimi na deserve. Covetousness in a change. It turns your heart. It makes your heart see the wrong way. It's like it sees upside down. When you're operating in covetousness. Now, the problem is your client will also have covetousness. Now, the risk is, you know what they say about that you can con anyone because everyone has likes, desires, needs, and what? They say anybody has greed. And they say as long as humanity has greed, you can con them.
Wow.
Now, we are saying as a kingdom entrepreneur, we are not to read other people's greed and use it against them. Because how many times will you do it? You'll have a business and it will disappear.
Yeah.
So we want, and we don't want to feed a greed. You come, if you come to me, I'm the best coach, your business, we are not the silver bullet of doing business in Kenya.
Yeah.
But we will give you a process. If you work that process, you will succeed. But it is not patapotea. Biblical entrepreneurship has shown up. You have done it. Voila! You are the greatest in the world. That's not true.
Yeah.
In fact, if you're coming to us to study, you have to really think very hard. So we are saying we do not want to use covetousness. We want our clients' legitimate needs to be met. We also want to use our so we check our own heart. Where you're looking at your own, where you know you're skewed a bit and you tell yourself, Frank, tosheka na ile uko nayo.
Yeah.
And then you also tosheka and meet people's needs. Now, obviously, it's not the hottest way to sell, but it is going to give you continuous. When people realize you're really not taking advantage of them, they trust you. Remember what we said. When they trust you, they open their heart. When they open their heart,
they open their wallets. You know, I'm laughing because someone wrote a comment about that, and they said, this is Gloria from Gigiri, and she said, the wallet opens because of honor. Nimeshika hiyo, my boss, here I come.
We are spoiling people. Please remember, it at the heart level is where seduction is determined.
Right.
So let's not seduce, just do honestly where you mean. You know, there are people who do foods. I don't know if you've seen, there's a food, the way it's being done, it is intended to be so sweet and therefore addictive.
Yeah.
There's a special where the food industry mixes salt and sugar and overlays it on the chicken. When you take that chicken, you can't make like that at home. What happens is you say, I'll go take. And they're not dealing with your legitimate need. They're dealing with your greed. They're making you fat. Yeah. And, okay, it is continuous, but it is continuous to what level? As in, by destroying culture and people? We are not of that. So not. Anyway, Gloria, is she Gloria? Ongea na boss vizuri. Mshahara inaweza ikafadilika.
Okay, there you go. Okay, Moz, you say you missed the last 2 weeks. You cannot trace them on YouTube. At least last week's, you should be able to get it on YouTube, yeah? And even our Facebook page. And you say, I am totally loving the sessions. Thank you, Moz. God bless you. We appreciate you. Someone has a question, Coach Frank, just before we get to the strategic selling. This is what they say on the fourth commandment. Okay, let me just read it. I'm not sure this is the place for addressing it, but utatuambia. On the fourth commandment, what does Coach Frank think about working on Sundays? Should we set it then aside as day of worship? Are there scenarios that justify working on Sunday? This is Davis.
I think the rule of thumb is get a Sabbath day. Get a day to rest.
Okay.
If that happens to be Sunday for you, then take it. Our brothers, by the serious respect for them, the SDA, have an amazing rhythm around rest. Friday night to Saturday evening. It's an amazing, if actually I can achieve it, I will take it. This rhythm of rest is understanding rest. And the Bible says it's like work hard to enter rest. This place called rest is amazing. I don't know if this is a good place to tell this story, but I've said here we waited a lot for children.
Yes.
And my wife actually read this commandment. She read a book on 10 commandments, and this is a commandment where God told her, enter rest, that I have done the work and you can rest. So in her life, I went on praying, Jesus! She stopped praying about them babies and she entered rest. She said, Lord, you have provided, I have entered. And she never prayed. She will only just say, thank you, Lord, they're coming. Wow. She never again ever prayed for the children. I think she was year 3 or year 4 of another 4 years of waiting.
Yeah.
She entered rest. So the principle there is, what is the lesson for you to learn? So for me, and that's why I'm not dealing with Sunday, Sato, right, because there's a lot of theories on it. But I'll say as much as you can, enter rest in your spirit. This is what God has done, and therefore trust Him. But also take a physical time. By the way, it can also include your day-to-day. How much time do you sleep? Learn to take that time and rest. Again, another area where I need prayers. My wife must be saying, Ebu, skiza hiyo advice yako hapo. So go to bed early, wake up early, as in the principle there is rest. So should you, can things make you work on Sundays? Obviously, there are things that can make you work on Sunday, and therefore you have to go to work. Maybe you're in the forces. You are in many other kinds of things where it requires you in the hotel industry. There are clients on Sunday. What do you do with that? That's your business. So then there is an interesting space. So I'll say the principle is learn, first of all, in the spiritual life to enter rest. Second, learn to physically take time to break from your norm, go away somewhere, sleep, go to church. Why church is important is it breaks the norm. You meet your friends, you worship God, you do different things, you serve humanity there. Yeah.
I like it. Asante. Let's now get to strategic selling. It's part of the science, you see.
Yes.
Okay.
So very good. By the way, as we were talking, I was throwing in Ukondani strategic selling. As we were just going through the commandments, I was mentioning. Okay, strategic selling. Now, what have we done so far? We've dealt with motivation. Don't do it from a place of seduction. We started there, and that's what we're calling the grace. If you understand it, it is actually a science. It will give you, ni kama unasoma mtu akiwa 18, unamwonea kule, na unajua, wewe ninajua dawa yako, you see? So that helps you. Then we talked about a process, a system, which I'm going to review very quickly now. And then we'll talk about some new things. Now, do you remember when we talked about process? So I'm going to just run through process. So if you have a pen and paper, let's go. Number one, we said the process of selling, identify opportunities. I like to say, we call it a customer journey. Every time you want to sell to somebody, enter their world. Sometimes we call it day in life. Sharon wamka 6:32. And a brush meno at 6:35. I'm just giving, we'll leave it there. We shall not say anything. But if you can draw that and say, okay, so this is the life of my customer. And then you say, they have never heard about me. to now they know me and they're telling others about me. What are the things that need to happen for Sharon to meet me? For example, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on Hope FM, we are on churches, we go to churches, so what do? I'm creating touch points where a client will get to hear about biblical entrepreneurship. When they hear about us, then there is a journey, then they'll probably check us out on Facebook, then so I'm now putting a journey, they'll go from step 1 up to step 7.
Okay.
Now, when you do that, you create opportunities of knowing your client and identifying at what point can I meet them. And when I meet them at this point, what will I give them so that I attract them? Like now, we're giving you nice stories here. What are we doing? This is a touch point. We are creating opportunities. Then somebody will call and say, I need help.
Yeah.
You see? So what are you doing with your clients to get to number 1? So that is number 1, quick process, identify opportunities. Number 2, now you're meeting them, establish a rapport very quickly. Manze, kuuza ni kubonga. Mbonge na wazee poa. But there hakuna shortcut ya kubonga. They say do like a firm handshake, look straight on their face. You know, those little nice things that are not big things. Again, watu umeingia kuzia mse na wewe ni mse wa Kenya Kwanza, ni wa Azimio na umeanza kusema vile tuliwashinda. My friend, you are losing that sale in 2 seconds. You avoid that story. You know, as you know, our team beat your team. As in, you want to start conversations that are easy. The idea here about building rapport is start with low commitment statements, like how's home, okay, how's the business going? You don't start with say, tell me about the strategic plan you have. No, you are committing too far. You're starting easy rapport, you know, easy stories. Yeah. Do not show any fishiness. You know, this is where we say, come dressed up nice. Nini, speak nicely, look nice. You know, kuna mtu anaweza kutokelea tu, umeona vile amevaa, because I can buy from this person. Right. Amevaa hivyo sema, praise Jesus. Even if the truth is they have something. And let me say this, Sharon, especially our young guys, they don't feel like they need to dress for you. You're not dressing for them. You're dressing for your biashara, for your product. It is your product that you want to move. Therefore, it demands you look a certain way.
Okay.
Number 3, quickly, we're coming to strategy. Clarify why you're meeting. Every time you're meeting your client, what is your objective? If you don't have a clear objective, do not go for a meeting.
Okay, like that.
Why? Why are we meeting? To do what? And when we have succeeded, what will it look like? And then now you can say, because the objective is X, therefore I can do Y, Z. When the objective is not clear, Oshana na your story. I'm jumping quickly. Understand your customer pain. This is where I taught you about questioning process. I gave you a process from scripture about how Moses told these guys when they went, check this and this and this and this and this. So if you missed that, go back and get this last week's. Number 5, understand the buying criteria. Now, this already I'm talking about. Look, we talked about it a bit last week. Say, okay, so Sharon, I keep using you. You're going to buy life insurance. You think my family needs to be covered life insurance. But you and your husband are both working. You're both contributing. Even say he's not working. Say he's not working. Will you now decide as the wife, I'm going to buy this thing, kama anataka ama hataki? And then me, the salesman, tells you, anafanya kazi. Achana na huyo mjinga. Let me tell you, umetupa mbao yako yote. Understand the buying system of the buyer. What do they go through to make a decision? Yeah, I'll come back to that in a short while. Okay. But understand the buying criteria. And then we said develop a needs assessment process. Lastly, optimize or ask, make the closing. Hapana kupiga story alafu jaambia mtu it is 10 bob, sign here, take the product. Haya, twende strategic selling.
Let's go.
When we do this, the reason I've explained all that is it all comes together in strategic selling. Number 1, I want to say is this. The thing about strategic selling, let me give you first of all what is the opposite of it. It is, you know, when you go to buy jeans,
Yes.
tush,
Yes.
na umeshika jeans, mambo ayo madam, hiyo ni 3,500. Wewe wacha. Hii ni kitu ya tao, hata ijafika tao hii. Now that's what people say is selling. Now that conversation inaenda wewe wacha nini. It reaches to 1,990. Okay, sawa. And you feel that you've done a proper negotiation. That is not negotiation. And maybe next week we'll talk about negotiation.
Okay.
But that's not a proper selling process. There's no preparation. You've got to thoroughly prepare. In fact, there are 3 strategies I must say that are key. Before I give you the rest, number 1 is prepare.
Prepare.
Okay. Please,
Okay.
have you written?
Yes,
If you
we
have
are
written,
writing.
that's okay.
We are
Then what
writing.
is the second strategy? Can I tell you? Prepare.
And the third one is
Write it. No, write it.
Okay,
So what
prepare.
is the third one?
Prepare.
Do you know, and you're in the media world, they say for every 1 second of TV advertisement, there is probably 100 hours of preparation.
That's right. That's right.
Because you've thought through that process so hard. You've started it, written the script, thought about who are you presenting to, how much will we do it, which segment will we put it in. For 1 second of TV advertisement, what have we done? That is exactly how we have to think. That's the process of selling. If you don't prepare. In fact, I want to say it, you almost prepare until it is boring. O.J. Simpson case, one of the greatest cases of all time. They said they spent 7 months to prepare for the case. And that brings my first point on strategy. When you're thinking about the sales strategy, think of a courtroom. No, vile tulikuwa Supreme Court.
Yes.
Did you see the way those guys came? There's no way these guys started talking and they hadn't thought about their script. They hadn't thought what they're saying to the
judges,
bar.
Yeah.
They hadn't thought about what their counterparts are going to say. There is this whole process. So think the courtroom is a good image for selling because it tells you structure. It tells you process. It tells you preparation. So that's a good thing to think about. Think about it like you're almost a lawyer who's going to make a closing. You know, what will you say? How exactly? And therefore, it tells you first strategy, as we have talked, prepare, is think about your opening statement. What do you want? You want a powerful opening statement. The way you come and you have now met this lady who wants shoes, you say, you're the right shoe for you. For example, I don't know what comment is to say, but maybe she's a saleswoman and she needs to look right.
Yeah.
And I see you closing all your deals this year. Say, how do you know? First, how do you know I'm closing my deals? How do you know I'm a saleswoman? I see you closing all your deals this year. How do you know I'm closing my deals this year? Just because you know you dress right. I say, you know I dress right, yes. And let me show you what will complement your dress. Then I show you a shoe. Sio kusema tu di kiatu. Hapo niko na kiatu ya take. Ilitoka jana ina tisa. No, and you know that's what people are selling. They're selling it is the best, it is the hottest, it is the loveliest, that is all type of selling. Opening statement for your client. Just the way you open that statement, that client says, Bwana asifiwe.
Bring it.
Remember, you know where we were? We were at the 10 commandments. Now you're saying, I have in my heart and in my mind the 10 commandments. Opening statement. What you say there. Now, what you say has to also be connected emotionally. So that, you know what you say to her? This year, you're going to hit your targets. Do you know what targets mean to me? When I hit targets, it means a new house, a new car. We're going for holiday.
Yeah.
You have touched all those things by your opening statement. And then he says, so I'm going to show you how to compliment. And we were buying a suit with one of my best friends. And then this lady comes and sees the suit, and she says, that suit is fantastic. It makes you look very executive. So she's passing. We're not in her shop. She's just passing, and she's told us. And then she told us the best shoe for that suit is a brown shoe. Did we wear a brown shoe for that suit tomorrow? Absolutely. She just got our attention.
Right.
And then, do you know what we said next time? We are going to buy shoes from that woman because she seems to know something we don't. Opening statement. Strategic selling. Leo. Leo hakuna maswali?
I like it.
Mama tu tuongee. Aya, twende.
Wacha tuangalie maswali.
Number 2. Sharing evidence. So now, I know what you want, but now it's not just me saying I have a good shoe. Now I give you details.
Yeah.
I give you details about my product. What is it that will make sense to Sharon about a good shoe? Maybe because of the kind of client she is, when you say this is Italian, it will change the way this conversation is going.
Okay.
Or I'll show you another Sharon. Do you know so-and-so? Yeah. I sell to that person. And this is what they said about our product. So now you bring your stories. And some of these stories are online. So you can say, you can watch some of our videos,
Yeah.
But we're calling evidence, where we're giving evidence. The next level, do you remember we're in courtroom?
Yes.
Remember courtroom opening statement?
Yes.
Then you start sharing your evidence. Say, this is the affidavit. This is the what. Do you remember all these stories?
Yes.
Number 3 is called cross-examination.
All right.
Now, you know what's going to happen? The client will ask questions. You've got to anticipate all the questions your client is going to ask. That's why we were preparing. So I'll sell this shoe. I'll say it is Italian. What are they likely to ask me? Now write those sentences down. They'll ask me this. They may ask me. That's why sometimes you go into this website and they have frequently asked questions.
Right.
With answers. What have they done? They have anticipated, over a period of time I've been selling shoes, this is what people who I want to sell to ask. Those questions, write them down. And then what is important is go to the place of answer those questions convincingly to yourself. You've not even shown up.
Yeah.
By the time the question comes, it finds you say, yeah, but that's a hard question. My thinking is, Ajui, you are ready for that question,
Prepare
isn't
3
it?
times, yeah. You're prepared.
So they ask that question. That's why I'm saying so you identify what are the needs of the client, and then you prepare for it. Then, guess what we have next? Closing arguments.
Okay.
You see, and
It's actually a courtroom.
It is a courtroom.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
By the way, just to throw this somewhere there.
Yeah.
Imagine this is a fantastic process of praying. If you can think, this is what my bishop taught me. Said, if you can think about prayer the way a lawyer closes his case,
Yeah.
because you come with the reasons, evidences before God, you're probably going to get all your prayers answered. Pause, put away Maobi. The day you want me to talk about prayer, you can tell me to come.
Okay.
Tuendele. So what are we talking about? Closing arguments. So remember, in closing arguments, you bring back the statement, you bring back your evidence, you bring back cross-examination, and then the pointer now you say, this is where you sell. This is where you ask. You pop the question. Will you marry me moment.
Yeah.
You don't ask anybody to marry you. You ask somebody who you have done the work.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you say, by the way, we have an offer today. Sometimes you have an offer or not. Say, this shoe, because of what it can do, this shoe costs 6,800. Let me tell you, if you've done a good job, 6,800 is nothing, because it is no longer about Italiano.
Yeah.
It is about the thing it is going to solve.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems. You remember last week we were saying, what do we do about increasing price? What do we do about this? The reason why price becomes a big issue is because sales haven't been done well. The strategic work was not done well.
Right.
Let's quickly go that. Rapport, understand your customer, present your value proposition, know the potential objections the guy is going to say, answer the questions convincingly, close.
Powerful. Okay, we have
Strategy.
We have a few questions.
Lit.
All right, question number 1. This one says, very interesting session. How about those customers who are so cold? Building rapport is so difficult. They give one word answer and it's not disinterest, it's just their personality. How do you break their ice?
That's a good question. I believe in the men asking that about the girl they want who is very quiet. But those girls end up married. So these guys find a way to talk to them.
Yeah.
If that's your client, you've got to find a way. And let me tell you, selling is a patient process. It's a patient. That's why before you invest so much time on somebody, remember I gave people the story of the Jesus about the seed. Yes. We said, throw your seed where the... So this part of identifying your true client is key.
Yeah.
Don't throw an investment in the wrong client. Okay? So now you figured out this guy is quiet. Now do the work. How do you come up with the process of what is their interest? As long as I identify your interest, I can get you talking. That's why part of our biggest sales come from referral. Treat the one customer you have so well, they will tell their quiet friend, Sitaki kusikia, go and do that thing. They are not going to be quiet to their friend. So find a strategy that will talk to this person. Is it their friend? Is it an article they like? Do they like to be visited at their premises? What is it about this person where you can draw interest? What is it? Or what is it about your shop? They walk into your shop, they find a place to sit, or you give them a cup of water, or what do you do with this person that they feel I am being treated well here? As long as they feel that sense of honor, respect, significance, all that we've taught before, chances are they will do. But be patient. Be patient with your correct client. Wataleta mali.
Okay. There you go. And Mwalili says, wow, the importance of the opening statement to closing a sale. I really like that, Coach Frank. Okay, thank you. Learning. This one says, do the research for your client. I have seen this with insurance agents. They are afraid of giving you the best company to invest in. Does that mean anything to you?
Did I understand the question?
I'm not sure if it's a question or just a comment. They say, do the research for your client. Or maybe they mean about your client. I'm not sure. I have seen this with insurance agents. They are afraid of giving you the best company to invest in. Well,
I can say, I'm not sure I'll answer or comment well.
Okay.
But it is one thing, especially when you're selling now, you have an SME and you're trying to say you are an events company and you're trying to sell to this person who is in this company.
Yeah.
You need to understand what process does that company go through to make a decision.
Okay.
To the extent that you understand the process in that company. So you know these gatekeepers. So don't just make deals or try to sell to the lowest level guy. I didn't say you can be kind to the guy at the gate, but don't try to make a contract with the guy at the gate.
Yeah.
Try and get the most important person in that process. Is there a budget for sure that they want to buy this thing? Has that decision been made? Are they just doing inquiries? So understand the process. And when the day they'll agree, what will they be looking at? How many other guys are they asking the same thing from? Remember this preparation, as you go through this preparation process, and let me just throw in something I had forgotten to say here.
Please do.
The strategic planning process requires investigate, evaluate, and then now form the strategy and practice fast. That opening statement, you shouldn't say it the first time when you said it. You should have said it on the mirror. But investigate is, what does this company do? What does this person do? You know, just observe these big jobs that are about to come, and see who is trying to know, who is the new MPs, what are they likely to be getting for salaries, therefore what will they need to be buying. You have to investigate that story. So we have all these guys who've come in, they're about 300, I don't know, there are more. What do they want? Investigate, know that generally, then go further, go a little further with these guys. Evaluate, what do they really need?
Okay.
For this MP to be a success, to be taken seriously, maybe it's the way they dress or the way they talk. You know, as in, us coaches have a lot of work there. As in, how do I package you? Can I help repackage you? There are all these types of consultants who are talking to them. Evaluate, and then evaluate what is their deepest need. They need to serve their customers. They need to serve their constituents. They need to survive the game of politics. You know, you're investigating. You investigate, then you evaluate. Then you now say, okay, from what I know, this is what they want. This is how they want it. This is where they go. This is who talks to them. This is who influences them. Now try and do that deal. How can I make them aware of my product? My product is X. How will these guys know? So who among them knows me? Can I do a session with them? If you are Hope FM, you'll say, we want MPs to make this, so you invite 10 of them and you give them a free session. And then the word goes around. What is the way I bring you from where you are to where I am? And that was the process I was calling the customer journey. And then lastly, practice. Usiwachie a story. Go dress up nice, look the part, and then talk to the mirror. Make sure you internalize your strategy, because a strategy that is not executable is worthless.
Okay.
You've got to be able to execute what you've planned. I said, I'll do 1, 2, 3. That's why you planned and prepared. If you don't execute the plan, manze ungelala tu.
Waste of time. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let you go with the questions.
Okay, let's read this. Thank you, Hope Family, for such programs. I am learning a lot. I started my business 3 years ago, and I need to do a business makeover. This is Jane, and she says, I really appreciate. Okay, so Pauline says you missed commandment 8, 9, and 10. Would you please just go to our Facebook or YouTube handles at Hope FM Live? I'm sure you will get them there. Okay. Being thoroughly blessed by Mr. Kitonga, tuned in from Kigali, Rwanda. Okay. Asante. Whose name is that? Amepotea. Allah. Okay, sorry. It's
Mwambie si uenda mpaka Rwanda, just in case.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Coach Frank amesema they come to mpaka Rwanda. So, yeah, reach out to them. Kagenza S. Rumongi. That's his name on Twitter.
Powerful name.
Yeah. All right. I saw one more question that I wanted to ask just before we slowly draw to our close. Nimeiona wapi pale Facebook. Okay, first of all, Ella says, getting so informed and learning a lot. This is BBK, your friend. I don't know if you know BBK.
What's up, BBK?
Okay. Now this one says, what happens when you want to make a sale, but there's a language barrier, but you feel you can get a breakthrough? Okay. Language barrier. What to do?
Yeah.
Wanna feel a breakthrough, but
you know.
Yeah.
Your study says this person will bite, but now you don't know how to do it. I actually explained. I don't know if you remember, Sharon. I told you about my client who were going for the international business competition.
Yeah.
And I looked for a translator because the judges were French, and I knew me and my client will speak English, and they may not understand.
Yeah.
So we looked for a translator. It's there. And I said, be part of a community, which, I know why I was answering this question. I was on Sita Woodley, and that came up.
Okay.
I said, and somebody can translate. So, the CBF, they had a CBF session this past weekend. I always say, be part of a community. Don't be in business alone. Belong somewhere. Now, in this community of entrepreneurs where you're existing in, they will help you to always find. So, to this extent of your community, they will provide all these services. Right now in our community, we have like over 200 people who have been through biblical entrepreneurship. Rarely do you have a need that those guys can't answer. There'll be somebody doing that business. Now we have translators. We're people who are in that mix. And that's why I say belong to something. Don't do entrepreneurship as a lone ranger. It is already difficult enough. Usiishi life here, lone ranger.
Yeah.
And that's one of the benefits of doing biblical entrepreneurship, because you become a member of all these entrepreneurs globally.
Great. Powerful. And this one says, Pastor, thank you so much for that powerful message. Sandra Faith, thank you so much. And of course, just to mention, just before we draw to a close, Coach Frank, you can get your closing remarks ready as I let everyone know that they can talk to Nehemiah Project Kenya and be part of this amazing work that Coach Frank and his team are doing. The number is 0797 924434, 0797 924434, and their website is nehemiahcommunity.com/Kenya. That is nehemiahcommunity.com/Kenya. Reach out to them and see what they have to offer. A lot. Part of this, what Coach Frank does here is just a bit of it. There is a lot more that they can offer. To you, and I'm told that you can check out the website and click on events to register. Yes, you can click on the part events, on the icon events to register. Coach Frank did mention there's something coming up end of October, towards the end of October. All right, there you go. Back to you.
In fact, tomorrow morning, I'm not sure, maybe Rachel will help me out there, but I think tomorrow morning we're doing a session for free that we want to just about growth,
Awesome.
Business growth. Anyway, let me say this. Closing remarks, so I need to demonstrate it.
Yeah.
My statement is actually to government. This is, as out of these 5 years of coaching, what I've realized is we are not taught entrepreneurship as a populace. One of the things I think, if we're really going to succeed in this bottoms-up economy, because it really drives entrepreneurship, the thing that must happen is we've got to make the entrepreneurship skill like the gold in the days of Solomon, that it meant as in everybody had gold, weziringia mutu kuna gold.
Yeah.
I believe the skill of entrepreneurship needs to be made so available around this country so that anybody who wants to make it, they have the know-how of getting. And there's no better person who can, remove that knowledge from a few who went to big schools, make this knowledge available to the populace. I believe if we can educate people on entrepreneurship skill in a way, and then after that, build a system of, if you have learned, this is what proves you've learned. We give you a process of coming up with a system, trying it out, and not just dish money to people who are not putting in the effort. But if you prove you've learned and you go through a process, and not just an academic process, physical, unajenga kitu, then we possibly can build an economy that will change not only Kenya but Africa.
Amen.
I am convinced we need to make entrepreneurship as the gold in the days of Solomon.
Powerful.
Come on.
Powerful. Like it. That's where we leave it at for today. Next week, we have another exciting session.
Yes.
And I want everyone to know that every Tuesday, this is the place to belong to, because powerful sessions will be coming your way. Coach Frank tells me next week we'll have a guest, a testimonial.
Yes.
For that, someone who's been through this and they have learned and they're doing wonders. They're doing great things out there. So please look out for that and more. Remember, you can get in touch with them by calling the number that I gave or checking out their website. All right, there you go. Thank you, Coach Frank, for coming. God bless you so much.
Thank you. Really enjoyed. Thank you so much, Sharon.
Karibu sana.
And fundi wa mitambo.
Anaitwa Joyland.
Thank you so much, my dear, for
All
all the
right.
help you're doing.
All right, God bless you. That's it for today.